lie to you. Cards are not my bag, baby. Allow myself to introduce myself. My name is Richie Cunningham, and this is my wife, Oprah.
My name is number 2. This is my Italian confidential secretary. Her name is Alata. Alata for China.
Hey, welcome everybody to Picture This Film Reviews. Another week, another movie. This week we are here to talk about Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. We are continuing our comedy round as we each go through and pick a different comedy film. This week is my week, so I picked Austin Powers. But before we get to the groovy man himself, we are going to go around the chat room and see how is everybody's week. Did you see anything? Did you do anything? Dan and Kayla, how about you guys?
You want to go, or are you trying to? He's trying to stay like relatively quiet because.
Dan, welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, Dan.
Glad to be back.
His voice is still kind of like, so I'm gonna try to do some of the talking. But yeah, Dan is feeling better-ish. He had to go back to work today, but it was kind of a rough day for him. But you know how it is. We watched a ton of stuff actually this past week. So I'm going to go through the whole list. But first, I'm going to start out with, we started watching the show Peacemaker, and it's fantastic. We're on the last episode now. So we're going to finish that tonight, probably after this. That's a really good show. I know Seth had talked to us about it. Have you seen it, Matt?
Everyone keeps telling me to watch it.
See, I was hesitant because like John Cena, I'm like, yeah, I like John Cena. His comedy is actually really good. But I didn't really care for Peacemaker too much in Suicide Squad. I was like, he's all right, But this is it's freaking fantastic. The writing is genius. So on to the movies. So what did we start out with? So we watched
Pagemaster.
We watched Pagemaster. We were trying to get our kids to watch Pagemaster. I freaking love Pagemaster, but the kids did not care for it at all. And then we watched E.T., which we tried to get the kids to watch that, and they did not care for it at all. What else did we watch? We watched Cocktail last night. Has anybody seen Cocktail?
Tom Cruise?
Yes, Tom Cruise.
I've seen parts of it.
Yeah, pretty much what we watched, guys. How about you, Seth? What did you end up watching?
The Batman. That's my big one.
You watched The Batman.
I do.
Or any of us couldn't come see it with us. You had to go watch it before
I'm
us.
sorry y'all are waiting, 3 weeks to go see the movie.
It's not 3 weeks. We're waiting 1 week.
It might as well be 3.
How did you like it without spoilers?
I loved it. Me personally, this is the best Batman movie that they've made. It's not my personal favorite, although it's extremely close. I'm really partial to the Burton films, so those are still edging out for me. But in terms of quality, this one is by far the best, in my opinion. Now, Matt might, discredit my claim because I don't like The Dark Knight or the Nolan trilogy all that much. So take that as you will.
I reserve all judgment, and I hold my thoughts until I see it, and then I will spew it into the world. That's all you did, Seth?
I mean, I think I saw a couple other things, but I just can't recall at the moment. But the Batman was the big one.
I mean, I thought you at least mentioned hanging out with me.
Oh, that happened. That
happened.
Another thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we hung out, and it was actually a good time.
Why do you say it like it was a surprise? Like,
because it was a surprise.
Like, pretty fun to hang out with. Yeah, he's not that bad.
Yeah, no, folks, Seth's not that bad. You just gotta get him to loosen up a little bit. In preparation for The Batman that myself and Miss Kayla and Mr. Dan are going to watch together this coming week, have been watching prior Batman films just to get in the Bat mood. I've watched the 66 Adam West movie. I watched the first 2 Michael Keaton movies, and I am going to attempt to continue on the road to see how far I get. I doubt if I'll get them all watched before we go on Friday, but we'll see what happens. And then I hung out with Seth, so it's a good week.
Which was your highlight? Was it Seth's hangout, or
I actually got to say, between sitting home watching Batman or being in Virginia hanging out, I would say actually Seth was just the better highlight.
Oh, well, that's very nice.
Yeah.
9 out of 10, Seth. That's what your hangout rating is. 9 out of 10.
The highest rating I've ever gotten.
Did you wrap yours up?
So moving on, it is time for the news. Seth, do you have any news for us this week?
Oh boy, do I.
Oh boy.
Alrighty. Sorry, I wasn't prepared this week. I totally forgot I'm the news guy. Okay. Titans season 4 has begun filming. So if you're a fan of that show, and season 4, Evan Rachel Wood has been cast as Madonna in Weird Al Yankovic movie. That's still happening. Spielberg, Steven Spielberg, that is developing a new movie.
Is there another Spielberg?
There might be one more. I don't know. Developing a movie based on Steve McQueen's character in the movie Bullet. So it won't be having Steve McQueen in it. It'll just be a movie, about his character. I don't know how I feel about that. Just it seems a little bit odd and unneeded, but hey, it's Spielberg's. Maybe it'll be good. A sequel to the Batman is in early development. I mean, that doesn't really, mean much because it's probably just in the early writing stages, but it's coming if you couldn't have guessed that one. Free Guy 2, that Ryan Reynolds movie, the new script is almost done, so be on the lookout for more information on that. Jack Harlow is set to star in White Men Can't Jump, the reboot, so no more Woody Harrelson, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah. Michael B. Jordan and Will Smith are set to star in a I Am Legend sequel. So if you enjoyed that first one, you got another one. Alessandro Navola is to play the villain in Kraven the Hunter. Not sure who that villain is yet, but he's been cast as that mysterious villain. Alan Ladd Jr. has passed away, unfortunately. He is the man responsible for greenlighting Star Wars and was the former president of Fox. So, thoughts and prayers with his family.
Indeed.
I don't know how to pronounce his name. Feed Alvarez. His Alien movie is set to be released on Hulu and is not connected to the others, and Ridley Scott is going to be producing it. So it's still got some kind of connection to the original because at least OG director is going to be a part of it.
I didn't realize they were making an Alien movie for Hulu.
I didn't either. I knew they were making Predator.
Yeah.
I didn't know they're making. Yeah.
So Hulu's got an Alien and a Predator movie coming?
Yes, they do.
Good for them.
Yeah, right. Keanu Reeves is the new Batman in DC League of Super Pets. So he'll be an animated version of Batman. So we'll see how that plays out. Gal Gadot's Heart of Stone has started production. That's a new Netflix movie that is coming out here soon. And then finally, kind of some big news. The Gotham PD show has now morphed from Gotham PD to something dealing with Arkham Asylum now. So apparently it's going to be more like horror oriented. And so we'll see that sticks of it, morphs into something else again, that new Bat universe is, it's really expanding. I'm excited for it. So, and that's all I got.
Give it up for Seth, everybody. He brought us the news another week.
Good news.
If nothing else, it's time to get into Austin Powers, folks. I've really been
Give me one second.
enjoying.
My cat is yelling at me, so let me go get her in my room.
Okay. I've really been enjoying doing these comedy movies. I think it's good to switch it up and kind of bring a different vibe to the show every once in a while, which is why we're continuing on, which we'll get to at the end of this. But before we get into Austin Powers, we have stats. Dan, are you doing stats today?
Yeah, I'm good for that.
Okay. All right, then. Take it away.
Folks, bear with me in my if I'm hard to follow today. Austin Powers is a series of American spy action comedy films, starting with Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, which is what we're talking about today, released in 1997. Films were produced and written by none other than Mike Myers, and also starred the title character, or he starred as the title character, Austin Powers, as well as Dr. Evil. They were directed by Jay Roach and distributed by New Line Cinemas. The film has a runtime. Oh, let's combine. I'm sorry. The budget was $112.5 million. The box office brought in $676.3 million. So a really good return on that for them. And basically, when you're watching the film, you're getting a lot of, I think, poking fun of spy movies in general. A lot of James Bond. I think one thing that stuck out was Odd Job was what, like Random Task in Austin Powers. So a lot of innuendo, a lot of groovy sayings from the 60s. So awesome stuff. And as far as Austin Powers International Man of Mystery, their ratings coming in at 7 out of 10 on IMDb, 73% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 3.4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, while 86% of Google users like this movie. And that's what I have for you today, so I'm going to kick it back to you.
All right. I won't take too much time on this. As I said last week, I absolutely love this movie. When I think about movies that I quote all the time, this is one of them. I'm constantly saying things from this movie. I've even done it on this show. The phrase, I don't know if anyone catches that. He goes, I say that all the time. Preferably, or not preferably, but especially in the scene where he's collecting all of his things. And they give him the suit and his shirt and his leather boots and his Burt Bacharach album. And then you get the, excuse me, folks, but the penis enlarger. And that's not mine. And he says, one credit card receipt signed by Austin Powers. I swear, baby, that's not mine. Someone's pulling a joke. And one warranty card filled out by Austin Powers. And that's not mine. That sort of thing is in my bag, baby. One book by Austin Powers, Penis Enlargers and Me. That sort of thing is my bag, baby. So it kills me every time.
Penis enlarger pump filled out by Austin Powers.
I don't even know what this is. This sort of thing ain't my bag, baby.
One book, Swedish-made penis enlarger pumps and me. This sort of thing is my bag, baby, by Austin Powers. Just sign the form.
Okay, don't get heavy, man. I'll sign here just to get things moving, you know.
And then also, of course, the obvious one, Dr. Evil, right? I say that all the time, too. A lot of funny moments in this, a lot of classic moments. This movie, to me, defines the 90s in comedy. It's very 90s, even though it's supposed to be 60s. And I love every minute of it, which is funny because stupid comedy, I call this stupid comedy. And I don't mean to degrade it, but that's just kind of what it is. It's dumb, silly, fun. And typically I don't go for that sort of thing, especially something with Will Ferrell in it, who does a lot of that sort of thing. But this is that, and Will Ferrell's in it. I love it. So many other scenes I could talk about, but I don't want to talk all night. So I'm going to skip right to my rating. This is a 9 out of 10 for me.
All right, Matt. Well, I'm gonna take it away from you real quick. I would say that you're exactly right. When you think about comedies when you're growing up, this is probably one that you think about because it's very prevalent. I think again very strong for the '90s. But as far as Mike Myers as a comedian, hilarious. I love him in pretty much everything he's in, except for there were a couple, yeah, the newer ones where he was, I think, kind of went downhill. But this is like prime for him. I loved a lot of the uh, liberty that he took. I guess I didn't realize that he had written all this, so that's kind of interesting to get into his mind. I think he's definitely a funny individual, but like you said, a lot of rips on James Bond, things like that definitely stand out. But I think the biggest thing for me, I wish they had kind of explored, and I guess they did later in different episodes, like the whole relationship with Scott. I'm not really sure if it was necessary in this first film. I know they come back to it in the second one, and he takes more of that role like after his father, and then of course we didn't get Mini Me into this yet, which is definitely iconic for the series. But overall, I think it set the foundation for what I would say is probably an equally funny movie in the second one for sure. I would put this at probably 8 out of 10. Good pick. Thank you for the recommendation.
You want to go, Seth?
No, you can go ahead and go.
No, you can go ahead.
All right, I'll go. So I'm kind of picky with my comedy as well, like Matt is. I don't have like a certain type that I like. It just depends on how everything lands for me in that certain time. But this one just didn't land for me. I don't know why. I have been wanting to watch it for quite some time. I just wanted to watch the whole trilogy, but wasn't really won over on this one. Just I didn't find myself like laughing all that much. Excuse me. There was some funny parts in it. It just wasn't my bag. And I really wanted it to be, but those things happen. It wasn't a bad movie, and so for that, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 because it has some enjoyment to it. Just wasn't quite my thing.
Okay, I have to ask a question. Does your dad like this movie?
I think so.
Is your dad free right now?
I don't think so. I think he's out.
Darn, I wanted to get his rating on this. Okay, so okay, I have to say, I knew that you were not gonna like this. I think we said this.
We appreciate the diversity, though.
Yeah, true. Okay, but like literally, Matt and I said you're not gonna like this movie. Okay, but anyway, I knew that was coming. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna start out my review. So obviously, last week's video, I said I was really looking forward to this. I love this movie. I love these. Is it 3 of them that they have, right?
Mm-hmm.
3.
I love all of them. Mike Myers is so hilarious. I think the first thing I know, Wayne's World, whatever, the first movie I ever saw was I Married an Axe Murderer with Mike Myers, and that's like, I love him in that movie. So of course then these come out. But anyway, this is my brand of comedy. I love raunchy kind of stuff. I love satire stuff. I love, playing on other things. Yeah, so I was just dying laughing the whole entire time, where to the point where like it physically hurt. So Matt, thank you for recommending this because this was fantastic to add to the comedy lineup. We kind of like, we had the big Jim Carrey last week, and now we have Mike Myers, which both of them are staples in 90s comedy. So this was really nice to transition to this movie and still be able to laugh my butt off and really enjoy it. So there are high expectations rolling into next week, just saying. But I loved it. I'll watch it 100 times more because it's so good. I don't really find myself quoting this movie too much, but I think I'll rewatch it and then I'll add some quotes to my itinerary up here because there's so many gems in here, you just can't. I love the whole vibe. I love the aesthetic of it. And I didn't know that Mike Myers wrote these either. So I mean, that just adds to his genius right there. I'm just amazed by these people who can do so many things, like act it out, write it out, produce it. It's fantastic. So this movie gets an 8.5 out of 10 for me. Loved it. It was fantastic. Loved it.
Very cool. Yeah, I find that incorporates just about anywhere. So that's one that I go to the most, and most people don't pick up on it unless they know. So thank you everyone for taking the time to watch this and for your reviews. Two other quick stories that I forgot to mention during my review that I wanted to tell. The very first time I watched this movie was actually on a camping trip. Dan, I was with our grandmother, and we were on our way to a camper, and we stopped at a Walmart. And this was back in the VHS days. There were not, there might have been DVDs. It might have been early DVD days, but I don't remember there being DVDs. The camper had a TV with the VHS player built in, and I was staying with them for the weekend at the camper. And so we stopped at Walmart so they being my grandparents, could buy me some movies to watch at the camper. I didn't bring any. And I had never seen these. I had only kind of heard about them from friends at school, and I was young. This was only the first two were out. So this was probably, 2 came out, I think 99. So this had to be 99 or 2000 or something like that. I got her to buy me the first 2 movies on VHS. And I said, thank God. She went out, she and my grandfather went out and sat outside the camper as I watched this first movie in the camper by myself. Thank God. Because I don't know what the reaction would have been, but that's my first.
It would have been well received.
That's my first.
Maybe, but
hold on. When you first said this, that you and your grandmother, I was like, really? She sat down and watched this with you?
No, but she did sit down and watch Jaws with me one time that I remember, and that was an experience by itself. But that's another story for another episode. But no, that's my first memory of watching this movie. I loved it then. I've loved it ever since, which brings me to the second quick story I hinted at last week, that in summer of 2014, I watched this movie every single day for an entire summer. And I know that got people giving me weird looks and wondering why. Well, I'll briefly explain. The summer of 2014, I had a friend more or less living with me in Virginia. And this was his thing, like Austin Powers, all 3 of them. So every single day, even if I was at work, I would come back home and then he'd be there and we would just watch these movies. Start at 1, go to 3, or if we run out of time, pick up the next day and just start over. I am not exaggerating when I say the entire summer I watched this movie and its sequels. So that's why another reason that this is so quotable to me, because it's literally ingrained into my brain. Whereas when I first started this movie the other day, when I watched this, what day was that? Sunday? Whatever day I watched this, I started it and it had to come out in my kitchen, and I could hear it, and I was actually saying the things before they were saying it. Like I would say something and then I'd hear it, and I would just try to match and see if it was right. And I was like, God, I'm good. But anyway, thank you again for watching this. Any other final thoughts on Austin Powers?
One, actually, Matt, and this is a question I guess I can direct more towards you as our resident Austin Powers aficionado. A while ago, being more than a decade now, there was a rumor that they're working on an Austin Powers 4th one.
Yes.
My curiosity and my question is, do you think that this franchise needs a 4th one? I know there's a lot of reboot, redo, sequel, prequel culture going on in movies right now. Do you think it's something that could possibly make a resurgence? And if it did, do you think it would still have traction today, or would it just be one that would be lost to almost just straight to VHS, but I guess more towards Blu-ray and forgotten?
I think it does still have an audience, and that is proof by as recently as the Super Bowl this year. There was a Super Bowl commercial with Mike Myers and Seth Green and basically the entire cast, where they're in costume, they're in character, and it was a car commercial. It was I don't remember the car. I'm gonna kick myself when I remember what it is, but it was a car commercial, and they were Dr. Evil, and they were all planning, and it just felt so right. Like I wasn't sure, like, because you're never really sure, but then when you saw them all together again in their element, and him shushing Scott, and then their banter back and forth like they do in every movie, and just it felt right. And then during the press for that, which I guess Mike Myers did an interview or a talk show or something where they were asking about the Super Bowl commercial, it of course led into, will there be a fourth movie? There's been rumors forever. He said he could neither confirm nor deny the existence of a potential fourth movie, while all smiles, and which led everyone to believe that something is in the works. I think it could work. I think people will go see it. I just hope that it's good, because it could be easily something that everyone's excited for and then immediately flops if it's not done right. But is it needed? I don't necessarily think so. I'm going to be there for it if it happens, but I don't necessarily think it's needed. I think they got away with a pretty good trilogy where every single one of those is pretty decent. I mean, yes, some are better than the others, but all three are solid. So if you keep playing with fate, how long before you get bit?
I want to add to that. I'm not really sure if this brand of comedy would be like lost in time, kind of. I think people would go mainly on the fact of it being a nostalgic kind of thing. And I think that's what would bring in the audience, because that definitely happened when I watched that commercial. And then last year too, Mike Myers did a Wayne's World one with Cardi B. So I think like it's all this nostalgia, building up. I mean, I'd be there for it too. I'd watch it too. And I think you're exactly right. The script has to be A+, and that's the only way it would work. And you're right. I don't think they could. I feel like if they did a fourth one and it wasn't good, then it kind of would taint the other ones being as good as they are as a trilogy. But that's just my opinion.
Speaking of taint, Seth's cat is making another appearance.
He tries.
All right. Dan, just stone cold, dead face, Dan.
You can. Oh,
Trying to hold it together while Caleb was like just dying off screen.
Yeah, so these are good movies. Seth, I'm sorry you didn't enjoy it. I kind of had a feeling you wouldn't, but I was hoping that you would. I was hoping you were going to surprise me and be like, you know what, 8 out of 10. I didn't expect anything higher from really anybody, but and the fact that people your age that I know also love this movie. It's not just a generation thing. It lives on, and younger audiences do enjoy this. So could be another good, for a sequel. The younger audiences can find it and enjoy it.
yeah.
All right, so that brings us to close on the Austin Powers book. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I actually have a question directed at Seth, if that's okay.
Yeah.
If we're okay with this little banter type stuff, real quick.
Sure.
Seth, what is your favorite comedy movie?
I have no clue. Like,
Oh my God.
none.
You have no idea. You can't think of like one comedy movie that you like really laughed, died over?
I can't, like, off the top of my head. I mean, like, I like a lot of different ones, but it just depends on my mood.
Yeah. So you've got to be in a certain mindset for you to be able to enjoy it.
I mean, Yeah, I mean, I might still enjoy it, but it just depends on my level of enjoyment.
But you can name your favorite action movie.
I'm more of an action guy. I grew up with action, so yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like comedy is like comedy. I mean, it's gonna be there. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I
kind
have more of a sweet spot for action. Like that's why I picked an action movie when I said we need to like, take it down from all this like dramatic stuff. Because to me, action is like,
It's your sweet spot.
it is, yeah. It
Okay.
makes me happy. Whereas to you guys, comedy makes you all happy. Not saying I don't enjoy it. It's just
No, I'm not saying either. I'm not trying to pick on you either. I'm just wondering, trying to get an understanding of, is there certain things that you like better?
I don't think that we're honestly all that much different, because I know Matt said at the beginning of this, like he doesn't typically go for dumb comedy, but I think we can all kind of relate. Like if you're in a certain mood and you sit down and you watch that film that's just talking to whatever you're playing off of that day, like it'll crack you up. And it might be, like Dumb and Dumber or something that's so in your face stupid, or it might be something that, I don't know, challenges your mind a little bit more so, like, the Princess Bride, where you're, having to catch the remarks and things. But I understand where you're coming from.
Okay. So out of these 3 movies, which one did you like the best out of this comedy group? Which one was the best comedic value to you?
Are you talking about the 3 Austin Powers?
The three comedy films, like Dan, Matt, and I.
Probably Liar Liar, because that's an all-time favorite of mine.
Okay. Oh, well, there you go then.
You just answered a question.
Yeah, you just answered your question.
A all-time favorite, not the all-time favorite.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of in that general area, but thank you. Thank you. All right, sorry, Matt.
Okay. By the way, horror makes me happy, Seth. Not
There you go.
So just throwing that in there. All right. So that brings us to a close on the Austin Powers book for now. Maybe we'll revisit the sequels one day. We should, just to make Seth sit and watch it. But it is actually Seth's turn. And continuing with the comedy, it is our last comedy pick for this round. Seth, what are we going to be talking about next week?
So I wanted to go with the Robin Williams pick because Jim Carrey has been done, and Jim Carrey is probably my favorite comedic actor, and Robin Williams is right up there with him. So I had quite a big pool of movies to pick from for Robin Williams, but one is probably my favorite of his, and it's not really a one that you would think of. Just this one I've watched a lot since I was a kid. It's another one of my all-time favorites, not the all-time favorite though. This one would be the movie RV. It's streaming on Stars, in case you all needed to know. But yeah, this movie's always, it hits me in the right spot. So maybe it's just nostalgia, I don't know, but I've always enjoyed this movie since I was a kid, and even to recently when I watched it again. So hope you all enjoy it and laugh as much as I usually do whenever I watch it.
When did this movie come out? Do you know?
Oh my goodness, early 2000s.
Right.
Give me one sec.
Like 07 or something.
And while we're
Something
on
like
this
that.
topic, Seth, are you a fan of was it We Are the Millers or Meet the Millers?
Yeah.
We're the Millers.
2006 is when it came out. And my dad and I were just discussing We're the Millers last night. So
you do like that movie?
very much. Very
Yeah,
much.
excellent movie. Who else is in this RV movie? Sorry.
I just exited it. Give me one sec.
I should have followed up quickly after my first question. My bad.
It's okay. Harvey. Okay. We got Jeff Daniels, Cheryl Hines, Kristen Chenoweth, Will Arnett, Josh Hutcherson, Hunter Parrish, and yeah, that looks like pretty much everyone. It's directed by Barry Sonnenfeld.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Has anyone else seen this one?
No, I've never seen this.
Dan?
I've seen it, but it was a long time ago. Like, I don't think I've watched it since it came out. If I'm being completely honest, I think I watched it when it was new. So 2006.
It'll be a good refresher. I know it has an RV in it, and I know
Remember,
they're
it has an RV.
driving it for a bit, and that's what I remember.
I remember. I think he ends up in the front of the RV on the outside at some point. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but that's what I kind of remember.
Hit something when he gets into the driveway first time, or backs in. I can't remember.
Yeah,
There's lots of crazy fun moments in this one. So
it's not like Seth said, it's not like the most known movie that you think of when you think of Robin Williams, but I'm glad to talk about it because I'm glad if we're doing comedy, you know, we've hit the staples. We've hit Jim Carrey, Mike Myers, Robin Williams. So this will be cool. Anything else from anybody?
I'm really looking forward to Batman. I didn't get to say that earlier when we were discussing.
I'm probably gonna go see it again tomorrow. So
Of course you
See it twice before we even get to see it once.
well, if y'all didn't wait so freaking long.
Well,
Dan
it's,
would
You
have been
waited
born
2
earlier.
days.
yeah,
it's only-
it's kind of trying to coincide with his birthday. It's a birthday present.
Sorry.
If Dan had been born earlier.
I've been trying to avoid spoilers.
There's not really much to spoil in this one, but there is like one sort of kind of thing, but it's not necessarily like that big of a deal.
Well, I've seen that like it's got like excellent reviews from everyone. I don't think I've seen a bad review at all. I'm gonna knock on some wood, but yeah, I'm actually really excited.
I'm excited
Wait.
for the Batman pops that are coming out because there's a lot of like retro throwbacks. And I ended up picking up this Riddler throwback, like Jim Carrey, but it's got like question marks all over them, green. I don't know. I know that has nothing to do with anything, but super excited for the pops that are coming out. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, no, I was just gonna say last week we were talking about, well, Seth, you had said something about you weren't sure, or you had heard people say something about Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Did I?
I swear you did. You were like saying that you heard people say that like Zoe Kravitz was good or something, but Batman was, it wasn't the takeaway. Like Robert Pattinson wasn't the takeaway.
So you want my opinion on him?
Yes, kind of, but like brief, but not like don't go.
Yeah, I won't. You act like I talk a lot or something. Yeah, geez. But no, I was very impressed by him. His body language or acting was very good. My dad, who is not a big Batman fan except from the Michael Keaton movies, and does not like Robert Pattinson whatsoever. He even said that this was the best Batman movie he's ever seen, and he was very, very impressed by Robert Pattinson's acting in the movie. He wouldn't give him full credit because it's still Robert Pattinson, but he was like talking about how he could feel emotion from him just by his looks, and I was like, that's because he's a good actor. He's like, well, I wouldn't go that far. I was like, okay, Dad, okay. But no, even he was very blown away. My mom loved it as well, but she's been a Robert Pattinson fan ever since Twilight. Yeah. So it's but no, we all really, really enjoyed it. So hopefully you guys do too.
Yeah. I think we're gonna try to review it too, possibly as a
bonus episode.
Yeah. Do we want to do a bonus show? That's what I was gonna ask.
I wonder, yeah, I feel like we should.
Are you guys available on Saturday?
Not until I go in at like 1 o'clock or something. So I can either do it before or I can do it when I get off at like 9.
We could do it before 1, couldn't we? Because you're off. No, this is kind of like behind the scenes kind of stuff. Sorry, you guys. No, I mean, yeah, that'd be cool. I feel like it'd be a good bonus video because I mean everybody is reviewing this. Yeah. And why don't we pitch in?
Yeah, throw in our 2 cents.
Please.
Cool. So look forward to that. Also, as mentioned, we're going to continue. Seth's pick with RV is the last comedy the round of the comedy round. But we have a wheel, and we're going to continue with this theme of picking different themes. So next week, during Seth's episode, we're going to spin the wheel, and we're going to find out what genre or what category we're going to be talking about next.
Yeah, everybody, each of us picked certain categories. Did you say that, Matt? I'm sorry, I don't know. I kind of like.
No, I didn't really go that far, but yeah, no, we each picked two, or we'll be picking two by the time next week gets here. And then we have two group picks because there's 10 spaces on the board. One of the group picks have already been filled out. I need one more we can discuss offline. But yeah, so stay tuned for that next week because we're going to be picking the future of the show. So everybody follow us. We got all the social medias, all them, all those, the Twitters, the tweets. No, we're not on Twitter. Why aren't we on Twitter? I don't know. But we're on
Twitter's where the Batman spoilers are at, so
Twitter's where the Batman spoilers are at, so we ain't on the Twitters.
Yeah.
But we are on the book faces. We're on the book face, and we're also on the Insta G's at Picture This Film Reviews with an S or review with a W. I don't know.
Reviews? Wait, hold on.
Review.
Hold on.
It's terrible that
I gotta get it. It is Picture This Film Reviews
with an S. It's terrible that each and every week we never know what our handle is. But if any last comments from anyone?
This was good. I enjoy the comedy so much. It's so much fun.
They say laughter is the best medicine, so
Indeed.
Thank you for this bout of medicine.
So if next week you're even better, that means RV must be a good one.
Yeah,
Stay
it's
tuned
to find
curing
out.
him. It's curing him. We found the cure.
Stay tuned to find out. Everybody have a great week. Watch RV. It is streaming on Stars. And of course, love one another.
Bye.
See you.